is Channel 5 Action News with Tom Tucker, Diane Simmons, and Black U weather meteorologist Ollie Williams.
And now here's Ollie Williams with the Black U weather forecast. Ollie?
It's gonna rain!
Thanks, Ollie.
The 49ers, I feel that again, it'll be a defensive thing, and I think that at this point we'll see Haskins really explode in this second game. We've seen it in the preseason that he gets better as he plays. I've said this on other shows. I kept saying that I feel that he's a player that gets better as he goes along in games, and that he's just one of those guys that's amazing as he keeps playing. So I think that with this being his second game he'll be playing against the 49ers, who may not be that good this year, but I think that it'll be a situation where we'll really see Dwayne Haskins really explode in the 49ers game.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today, the Washington Redskins lose 9-0 to the San Francisco 49ers. I understand that the game was a rain fest and everything was soaked and all that, but to be quite honest, the fact that we lost this game 9-0 and we lost it, the defense played well. I'll start there. The defense played well. The problem is that we didn't do a lot on offense after the first quarter. Now, I'm going to get into the game details because I think that once I read out the details or tell y'all the details of the game, y'all will understand a little bit better of why I'm not really sure what direction this team is going in at this point. And is this team really trying to be better than what they are? So I'm going to get into it. Start of the game, first quarter, Redskins get the ball first. They go on a 12-play drive for 52 yards, and it ends with them missing a field goal. At this point, Adrian Peterson has rushed for he had 8 carries for 48 yards. So they're sticking to the run. But they're sticking to the run, and you're thinking that this is a great game plan. San Francisco goes on offense. They go 6 plays, 16 yards, and their drive stalls. Redskins come back on offense, and they go 3 and out. San Francisco goes back on offense, and they're driving as the first quarter ends. Second quarter comes around. The 49ers have a 12-play drive for 33 yards. The drive ends with a sack, and they miss the field goal. So, again, the defense is doing as well as they can without causing any type of issues and stuff. Redskins go back on offense. They have a 10-play drive for 51 yards, and the drive ends on a 4th and 1 on a run play that was the most obvious looking run play in the world. Now, when it's 4th and 1, you might want to show the team that you might run the ball, but you want to have an option that you're able to pass it. And to me, it seems like, I don't know what it is about, they say they like Case Keenum, but to not give him a passing option on that 4th and 1 was kind of strange to me. But it was clearly a run play. You could see the formation, everything, and it just got stopped. San Francisco goes back on offense. They have a 5-play drive that covers 13 yards. drive stalls. Redskins go back on offense and they go 3 and out. San Francisco goes back on offense and they're driving into the half. At the half, Adrian Peterson has 14 carries for 57 yards and the score is still 0-0. Third quarter starts up. San Francisco gets the ball first. They have a 6-play drive for 36 yards and Troy Apke picks off Jimmy Garoppolo. And he runs back about 33 yards. At that point, you're thinking maybe the offense can kind of find a way to get something out of this. Redskins go back on offense and they go 3 and out. The 3 and out happens and Case Keenum takes a sack that he probably shouldn't have had to take if he'd have just threw the ball out of bounds or something. But he didn't, and he takes the sack. Now, at this point, you're starting to see a pattern of the Redskins going 3 and out for each quarter. San Francisco goes back on offense. They have a 7-play drive that covers 67 yards and they kick a field goal. So now at this point the score is 3-0. So the game is still in reach, but there are things that's happening. On those drives, like the Redskins go back on offense, they have a 6-play drive for 49 yards. Now the thing about this particular drive was that all of a sudden they started getting all these penalties. The offensive line started racking up penalties on this one drive. Then, at the end of the drive, the reason the drive stalled was because Adrian Peterson fumbled the ball. Adrian Peterson fumbles the ball. Now, since he's been here, he hasn't fumbled the ball, but he fumbled the ball. 49ers get the ball, and they're on offense and they're driving. Third quarter's over. Fourth quarter starts. The 49ers have an 11-play drive for 55 yards and it ends with them getting a field goal. So now the score is 6-0. So the Redskins are technically still in the game, but they started doing like gimmick plays and they were forcing running the ball. They weren't trying to throw the ball, whereas the 49ers were actually finding places and areas where they were throwing the ball. And for some reason, the Redskins just wasn't doing it. Redskins come back on offense and they go 3 and out. So again, 4 3 and outs for a 3 and out for each quarter. San Francisco goes back on offense. They have a 10-play drive that covers 56 yards and they kick another field goal. Score is now 9-0 and there's a minute 7 on the clock. The Redskins come back on offense. They have a 2-play drive that covers no yards. And the game ends on a Nick Bosa sack of Case Keenum trying to scramble away from the pass rush. I get that the rain caused problems, right? But the 49ers were still able to score 9 points. Like, I mean, we can sit up here all day and say that the rain was the cause, the rain was at fault, it's the rain. But the 49ers were still able to do things to score 9 points. Now, it'd be different if this game ended 0-0, a 0-0 tie. Or even if the game ended 3-0. No, the game ended with the 49ers scoring 3 field goals. And us not getting any points. The telecast threw out a staggering stat. The Redskins are averaging 15 points a game. A game, people. And we're getting ready to face people that average almost 20-something points a game. In fact, we play on Thursday, so I'll be doing another video for you guys that's going to be more than likely populating on Friday. But again, we're talking about the fact that here we are again in a situation where we're the cause of why we're losing. Now, Terry McLaurin was only targeted twice in this game. Twice. Now, I'm not saying that the conditions made it for them to just throw the ball around, but clearly the 49ers figured something out. Because at one point, they sat up there and went to a quick offense. And the Redskins didn't adjust to that. The Redskins, it would have been nice to see the Redskins copy that. because that was working for them against our defense. The fact that the Redskins didn't think to copy that same thing to do on their defense. I just don't get it. Now, Adrian Peterson ended the game. He had 20 carries for 81 yards. Case Keenum was 9 of 12 for 77 yards. At what point do we put Dwayne Haskins in? I'm not saying this is the perfect game to put him in, but at what point do we put him in the game? Because to me, Case Keenum is not doing it. I mean, he's too safe of a player. He's too safe of a quarterback. He caught all his mistakes happen because he's holding the ball too much. The 2 sacks that was in the game that was on that happened was because he held the ball too long. Both times. Now, I'll say this. Kyler Murray, who probably isn't as good as Dwayne Haskins throwing the ball, but he's playing. And not only is he playing, we've seen him progress and get better as the games go on. And he's now repaying the Cardinals because they beat the Giants today. And you're talking about, I think the week before, they almost beat somebody else. But again, he's getting game experience. So guess what? Kyler Murray next year is going to be stellar. Whereas we can't have the same thing with Dwayne Haskins. I'm tired of hearing that he's not ready and things like that. I've had enough of that. I had enough of that when Jay Gruden kept saying it, and I'm not dealing with that anymore. Not only that, Jimmy Garoppolo had only thrown for 10 yards in the first half. Came back in the second half and threw for 140 yards. 140 yards. Case Keenum had 77 yards the whole game. The whole game, y'all. Terry McLaurin was targeted twice. Then, even with the running game was working for them in the first quarter, and they eventually went away from it. And then when they did go to it, it was like in situations that didn't make sense. Yes, did the rain play a role in it? Yes, it did. But not as big as a role as people try to make it out. Again, the Redskins don't look good. And my thing is this. If we're going to go, because at this point now we're 1-6. And we're probably going to be 1-7 after Thursday. At what point do you just go ahead and let the rookie play? I don't care if he's not ready. We're already 1-6. We're not making the playoffs. We're not going to make a run or nothing of that such thing. Put him in the game so he can start gaining experience and learning how to be an NFL quarterback. I'm over hearing he's not ready. I'm just over it. Greg Minuski, he's another one. He doesn't put his defensive players in the right positions a lot of times. And I'm to the point where I'm over it. But I don't know where we go at this point, y'all. I don't know if there's a way to get better. I don't know if there's a way to try to get better or if we are going to get better. But what I will say is this. At this point right now, the Redskins aren't going far. We got the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday. Kirk Cousins comes back. So I don't know how this game is going to play out. But at this point, we just don't look good. Hopefully, we get to see Dwayne Haskins starting in Minnesota. This has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.